Residential report writing and case studies, chapter 5, view. Shows a bar, it says dimensions, and it shows area down from that. And then down the line it says shape, and then it says view. There's a big red circle around view. For all UAD report types, the appraiser must select an overall view rating for the subject property from the list below. You got abbreviated entry, and then to the other side of that, you got overall view rating. Under abbreviated entry, you got the letter N, overall view rating, neutral. Abbreviated entry B, overall view rating, beneficial. Abbreviated entry A, overall view rating, adverse. After the appraiser selects the overall view rating, he or she must also provide at least one, but not more than two, view factors from the list below to provide additional support for the overall view rating. You got abbreviated entry, and then you got view factor to the right of that. Abbreviated entry, WTR. View factor, water view. Abbreviated entry, PSTRL. View factor, pastoral view. Abbreviated entry, woods, WOODS. View factor, woods view. Abbreviated entry, PRK. View factor, park view. Abbreviated entry, GLFVW. View factor, golf course view. Abbreviated entry, CTY, capital SKY. View factor, city view, skyline view. Abbreviated entry, capital MTN. View factor, mountain view. Abbreviated entry, R, capital RES. View factor, residential view. Abbreviated entry, capital CTY, capital STR. View factor, city street view. Abbreviated entry, capital I and D. View factor, industrial view. Abbreviated entry, capital P, W, R, capital L, N. View factor, power lines. Abbreviated entry, capital L, T, D, capital S, G, H, T. View factor, limited sight. And then in the box below that it says see instruction below. And view factor, other. Appraiser to enter a description of the view. If the appraiser selects other, he or she must provide a brief description of the view factor. Descriptions must be specific and understandable. Descriptors such as none, NA, typical, or average are not acceptable. According to the GSEs, the description will need to be abbreviated as it must fit in the field. An example of this might be capital R tracks. It is important to note that the information that is inserted into this section of the form must carry over into the view section in the sales comparison grid. End of page. Residential report writing case studies, chapter 5. View screenshot. Below is the screenshot of the view section of the URAR form. It is being filled out. Shows this is auto mode. It shows you're in the contract section. Says something about report data sources used, offering prices and date. It says DOM 57. The subject property was listed on the market for 43 days at an asking price of $155,000 and $155,500. Subject was contracted on 10/28/2009 for $153. $153,000. Data provided by the OKC MLS system and the contract. Underneath that, you start the contract section, and then it says, I did analyze the contract for sale for the subject purchase transaction. Explain the results of the analysis of the contract for sale, or why the analysis was not performed. The contract appears to be a standard conventional sales contract between buyer and seller. No seller participation is being something with this transaction. Still in the contract section, it says contract price $250,000. Date of contract October 28th, 2009. Is the property seller the owner of public record? And there's yes. Where did you get that? It says data sources, and it says courthouse records. Still in the contract section, it says is there any financial assistance for loan charges, sales concessions, gift or down payment assistance, etc., to be paid by any party on behalf of the borrower? Yes or no? If yes, report the total dollar amount and describe the items to be paid. And then it says $2,500. The seller is offering an incentive towards purchaser's closing costs. Underneath that, you start the neighborhood section, and it says, note, race and racial composition of the neighborhood are not appraisal factors. Underneath that, there's the neighborhood characteristics section. It says location, is it urban, is it suburban, is it rural? And then underneath that, it has built up. And this is all the neighborhood bound areas, neighborhood description area, market conditions, dimensions, zoning. Anyways, there's a big open box here that says view. That's covering everything. And it says select the overall rating and at least one factor, select other, and enter your description if your factor's not listed. And it says overall, adverse, factor, industrial. Factor 2 says other, describe, and it says in the describe part it says RRTRKS. And that's the end of the page.